The origin is that it started off in Oz's brain as a vision of what she would like for her own self as she was beginning her journey into motherhood. Years later, she and I met, and we had a shared vision of a sister like community where young women could come and just receive all the support that they needed. We started off just backing each other up as doulas. Then we decided that wasn't enough. We were unhappy with what we were seeing in the community, the way that Black and brown women were being trained as doulas, as childbirth educators. It just didn't seem to really support the uniqueness of our community. So she said, we should train people on our own. And I said, absolutely not. Then, of course, we did. So that's that.
The first meeting that I had with Aza and the team was in the old place. Came in, took my shoes off, sat on the couch. Pretty sure I was crying by the end of that meeting. You could like feel the oxytocin coming out of the walls. It was refreshing. I'd been talking to a lot of folks in healthcare, and everything felt so clinical and just dry, right? And this conversation was, yes, evidence-based and scientific, but it was so warm and real.
I've always said we are very intentional, and we put our money where our mouths are. Intentionality is really the key. We are out here not just with how we care for our clients, but the various pathways with advocacy, making sure that our clients are supported with their providers, being able to advocate for themselves, just being able to themselves have an expanded knowledge base about what's going on with their pregnancy. So I do believe that with Mamatoto, we cover a lot of bases, and that's what really, I believe, sets us apart.
Mamatoto Village's care model is rooted in this dynamic of collective care. Collective care is not just centering oneself, but is considering the needs of the entire community. Our model is also rooted in cultural resonance and cultural congruence, meaning that care is delivered by people who look like the communities that are being served, who talk like the communities that are being served, and who have similar and shared experiences.
My experience giving birth with the support of Mamatoto was completely different than my other birthing experiences, because I not only got support with my pregnancy in terms of regular procedures kind of being done like when you go to a hospital. They were actually like in the home. They gave me education around childbirth education. They taught me about newborn appearance, and they looked in my refrigerator and my cabinets. They seen what I was eating. It was like all hands on deck. It felt more of like a sisterhood than it did just coming in for a regular prenatal visit.
What sets Mamatoto Village apart from other organizations is the connection to community. The Mamatoto Village and everybody who works within it have a lived experience. Many of them having received services from Mamatoto Village before they became part of the staff. And so that provides tremendous value that many on our staff can't provide. Either we're not from the community, or we haven't had the lived experience of being a birthing person in the district. And so having that experience makes a more of a human touch to the patients going through an experience that they too have shared in their journey.
We never ignore what is termed qualitative data, so the story or the feeling, the emotional impact behind those that we serve. You cannot just report low cesarean rates, but everybody who went through a system felt abused or neglected or not heard. We are always intentional about ownership of our stories and making sure that we elevate at all times the impact in our own words that our clients are reporting back to us about the services that they received at Mamatoto.
We had a member who was expecting multiples, and she had a number of medical complexities to include hypertension, obesity, previous miscarriages, mid to moderate preeclampsia, and a lot of challenges with her mobility. Her health-related social needs included not having stable housing, and challenges in meeting her daily needs. And what Mamatoto did was what they do so often. It's that full engagement, it's considering the person's preferences, honoring their voice, recognizing their assets, and being there no matter what was needed. And that has been really the journey of our partnership. It's that full engagement.
Not only are we providing services that meet a variety of needs of those that we're working with, but also we're doing it in such a way that we're creating relationships that are lasting, that are important, and that are meaningful enough that the people who receive those services inevitably want to be able to give back in whatever way that means for them. Sometimes it may mean they want to come and train and learn how to be to others what we were to them. In other situations, it might be they get involved in the community in a way that they never thought that they could, but they realize the value of it because of the way that they were served here.
When I first came, when I was in the program, we were smaller. I remember that. It was in the house. And now that I'm here working, I see them growing. I see sisterhood. I see brotherhood. I see mamahood. I see family. You know, a lot of people show up to see me just because, you know, they just feel, you know, not just like I'm a lactation specialist. And they tell me, you make me feel like you my big sister. So I just see family.
Mamatoto Village shaped my life as far as my passion. I love what I do. I will do my work whether I'm on the clock or off the clock. And I love supporting the community and being there to let them know it's okay. And I got that from Mamatoto Village and the training that I received from the amazing team here.
My experience with the training was transformational. It taught me, how to be a better mom, a better advocate, and a better supporter for families. It helped me to dig deeper into my roots, my traumas, and also healing the relationship with my mom, because my mom also took the training as well, and we both graduated together. So that was a life-changing training for me. I would definitely recommend the training to other women in the community.
Thinking about the space from the house to now, it means the world to me because it was the place where I felt home. When you're called to birth work, it's a true calling, right? There's this innate voice that says, this is what you're supposed to do. And the moment I shared on social media that I think this is what I'm meant to do, one conversation, one line after the other, literally unfolded what now feels like my life's work. And so getting that recommendation to go to Mamatoto Village and talk to Aza was the catalyst for my life changing from inside out. And I can't imagine doing anything else. Learning from just the beautiful people that I've learned from. And being in the house, it was home, right? It was a place where you could go in, be your authentic self, take your shoes off, right? It was sacred ground. And from there was this rebirth of myself as a person, my influence in the world and the community right within me, right? Sometimes we think we have to go so far. But I learned that it was starting from within, and then for as far as I can reach, that was where things happened. Lives changed, and there was so much learning from that house that even beyond that, like leaving and doing other work or being on my own, that I had to return back. And my return was this beautiful office.
The place that we're in right now is what we dreamed of, like our wildest dreams. Even though our previous space and those early iterations of Mamatoto Village, I think, will always ground us and like have a special place in our heart, no matter where we were, no matter how much money we had, because we didn't have a lot of resources, but we were determined to give our best to our people, and that's what we did.
Ownership for Black organizations and Black people is very important in this day and age. As you can see in this city, as well as cities across the country, the faces of these cities are changing. They're becoming more white, more diverse, and Black people are getting pushed out for a variety of reasons. And a big reason for that is because they are tenants and not owners. I fundamentally believe that Mamatoto Village should own and should have owned their own headquarters. Every time I come into this space, I'm just like blown away, to be quite honest. When we helped Mamatoto purchase this building, it was set up completely differently. It was set up more so as an office building. And Aza had a vision that it was gonna be something different. It was gonna accomplish all the needs of Mamatoto. When you look around this building, it just looks phenomenal.
Mamatoto Village is needed in the community because very often the voices of women of color are not heard, understood, or celebrated. And so someone has to pay attention to them in a way that is caring, respectful, lifts up their dignity, and Mamatoto does that without even thinking. Mamatoto Village has impacted AmeriHealth in so many positive ways. And so we had to do some learning, right, in terms of not trying to over-medicalize the model or force the model into our way of being. And so my team was changed to understand why the model works, right, and how we could play a part in supporting it. It's also changed us to say, be open in how we think about the needs of our members. It's not always about what we want. We've learned a lot more in terms of humility. There are things that Mamatoto Village is naturally going to do better than we do. We should support, engage, and celebrate that in a way that makes the collaboration more fruitful.
What I love most about working at Mamatoto is that it is really a place where my inner child is healed. It's a place that I'm probably most affirmed. In my ability, and just for who I am and not for what I do for others. It's a place that I'm most supported. It's a place that I probably feel the safest.
So when I was working as a doula, I was at a birth, and so we were in. This mama was in active labor, and she felt that she couldn't do it anymore. And she was surrounded by the nursing team. Everybody was there, and the only person that she wanted was me. She called out my name, and it makes me feel the value. The value. We are valued in the community.
I would encourage any funder who cares about Black women, about healthcare, about pregnant and birthing people, about babies, about families, to support Mamatoto. I mean, it's the best investment you can make. When I first recommended funding for Mamatoto, philanthropy was a very small part of the budget. And I think that it just shows the tenacity of the organization and how, yes, philanthropic dollars are really, really helpful to scale, but that sustainability is built in.
The next 10 years is really about longevity and sustainability. It's about being anchored and rooted in the community that we are in and continuing to expand and scaled the parts of our work that are necessary in order to truly transform the maternal health landscape, both on the side of care and service, but also diversifying the maternal workforce with Black women who understand what it means to give care in a respectful and dignified way.
In the next few months, we plan to expand into another portion of our building, which will allow us to create a clinic to provide prenatal and postpartum care to the clients in our community that need easier access to that care.
Getting involved with Mamatoto Village is life-changing. There's not one person that I've come across, that I've talked to, that has not mentioned, like, my life was just different after Mamatoto Village, whether it's from a client perspective or from workers being trained and developed and going out into the world doing things on their own. Mamatoto Village just has an imprint that stays with you, and not only does it change you, it helps lead others to change their lives, right? And anyone who's come through Mamatoto Village, it's something you can't really describe, and how it influences you and how you then make an impact on the world around you.